Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. How you doing out there? I'm Evil Mike. It is new comic book day, and I am completely done with the comics that were released on September 1st, 2021. This is going to be my part 4 and the last video. Actually, getting down to it, I only had 2 reads left, so I threw in one that I missed just to, kind of make it a little filler video. But these are all DC. That's all I had left. Let's get into it. First up, we got Teen Titan Academy number 6. It's a good issue. I want to say I want to assume it's like a filler issue because it's breaking off the main story. Of course, we were on the mystery of who is the Red X, if they're ever going to reveal who the Red X, and this is basically like a spring break, a summer break adventure, not spring break, a summer break. We are catching up with the Academy students, various different ones that we have seen. We got Chupacabra, we got Greg the Gorilla, we got Summer, hence summer break. Summer is the one in the front here with the I don't know what you call it, scarf. But we get here and she is taking some of the students on a vacation that is on the outskirts of New York. It's supposed to be like this secret, like they call it a beach pond, but it is supposed to be known that like a known like meta-human hangout spot like that. They get here and it is completely empty. Summer is kind of bewildered because she's been here before many times and it's always super packed with people, and the town next door is always super packed. It is a like meta friendly type of place, so she was kind of looking forward to bring all of her fellow meta classmates, and it's not so packed. They do start to enjoy the adventure and everything. That while they're there, some of the kids do. They can start jumping in and enjoying. And Greg and Summer are still kind of, trying to figure out why no one is there. They eventually do decide to head in town for 2 reasons. One, Greg really likes a certain ice cream shop that is in town, and of course they want to figure out why no one is there. They do get to the town and it's the same thing. It looks like and no one is there, and it looks like everybody left in a hurry. I'm trying to remember his name. I think it is Patch. I am bad with names, guys. I'm horrible with names, but I'm gonna call him Patch for now. We see Patch use some of his weird powers, and he makes everybody look like Scooby-Doo while they're on this mystery and everything, which I thought was hilarious. They do find a shop owner, and the shop owner just tells him that he can't really talk to anybody. He does remember Summer because she explains that that he's supposed to know her, that they spent multiple summers, and she's even helped out in the shop, and he acts like they don't know who she is. And basically as soon as they turn away, they are surrounded by like an angry mob. They do start to, it's not really attack the mob, it's more like a protection thing because the mob is trying to attack them and they don't want to hurt anybody. Summer does realize that a lot of these people are the folks from the town. Basically one of the girls, and you can see her right here, she has this power where she can manipulate her hair, and she is basically using her hair as a shield to protect all the different students from the pitch wielding individuals. But it doesn't last too long because eventually all the individuals, they kind of get distracted and they just leave. They do notice that as soon as everybody leaves, Greg is also missing. So the mystery turns into a threefold now because they have to backtrack and they start looking for Greg. Summer believes that he just kind of took off and went to go to that ice cream shop during the middle of the attack, which everybody else is like, that would be weird. They do shop, scan the whole town, go to every shop and everything, and they cannot find Greg. And they do split into teams, and eventually they were supposed to meet back up at this like abandoned, like it's a like grits meal that is in the back of the town kind of thing. Um, they do like both parties end up seeing like the like different members of the town that attacked them before, and they end up following those members to that old mill where they were supposed to meet up anyways. um, they do find out that there was some kind of secret meeting that's going on at that old mill, and both sides are kind of convinced that that's where they have Greg, so they end up all going into the mill. um, Once they get there, they do see a very weird situation that they cannot explain. But for some reason, Gorilla Grodd is here, and it explains why all the townspeople are acting all weird, and it's because they are being brainwashed by Gorilla Grodd. Very early in the comic, there is a brief comment where someone asks Greg about his parents and stuff like that, and he does mention that he was named after his uncle, and they ask why, and he says something about world domination, but he says it in mumbling. So we find out who his uncle is and about the world domination. But we do see here, and I don't know why, monkeys are doing this all over the place, but we have monkeys betraying people in the Avengers on Marvel side, and now we got monkeys on DC side, and they're betraying, but it looks like Greg has teamed up with his uncle, Gorilla Grodd, and their plan is being set in motion, and that's where the issue ends, and we're going to have to find out what's coming next. Next up, a very, I would have to say, unique. I've never read a book like this that has done this. I'm pretty sure it's not a first for everybody, but it was a first for me. So, first off, this is Batman Superman 2021's annual, but it is a double book. It has a double cover. It doesn't matter where you start the book because they both meet up in the middle, and I'll get there because it is two different stories. This is continuing the Batman Superman story that has continued in that, and so it is going off of the film verse. And if you can see, this is a 1950s Superman and a 1930s Batman. In this storyline, they have basically switched realities where Superman went to, and they are calling it the world of the night, and where Superman is going into Batman's world, and then Batman's doing the same thing where Batman and Robin are going into Superman's world, the world of tomorrow. I'm gonna do it how I read the books, but I mean, I don't think it really matters. But I started with Superman, and they kind of show you that Arturo Ivo is, archiving all the different realities and stuff, and Superman gets to why they switched, Superman and Batman, and it's because Superman in his world had a threat that was more Batman related, and vice versa for Superman. Superman here, we find out, has a different Lex Luthor that showed up in Batman's world. He has already taken control of Arkham, and somehow has found another version of Lex Luthor. He quickly takes all of Lex's memories, using a device that looks a lot like something of Brainiac's liking, but it does cut over to Commissioner Gordon and Alfred. But in this universe, Alfred is calling himself the Eagle. He shows up at the top of the Gotham police station to alter the bat signal and basically turn it into a Superman symbol, and it calls Superman. Superman shows up, this being the first time this version of Commissioner Gordon has ever seen Superman. Quick explanation and all that goodness, and then Commissioner Gordon kind of tells him that what's been going on with Superman. He basically, with Lex Luthor, he basically tells him that Lex Luthor has already taken over Metropolis with his new powers from the other Lex, and now has turned Metropolis into Lexopolis. Superman speeds off to Lexopolis to find out what's going on and to stop this new version of Lex, and he is greeted by multiple villains. First off, Man-Bat, and eventually Poison Ivy, which they show, and I think the last one, yep, is a metallo version of Two-Face. He quickly battles all three, and I think the metallo Two-Face is the only one that gives him a little problem, but the fact that he is only half kryptonite kind of helps Superman out. Eventually we get to this part where we find out that Superman does try and battle Lex and finds out that he has this thing called the Omni Battery that we saw on a couple issues back in previous Batman and Superman. But this Lex has built himself a new Omni Battery, and it looks like it's not really like he built it, he just captured a superpowered individual and made him the Omni Battery. They do mention this, and that's what this pink thing is, the Omni Battery, and you can see it as a person because it does end up talking and fighting Superman. It is being controlled by like the Brainiac Lex Luthor, so. But he does reveal his name, and I kind of have a feeling it's supposed to be like this version of a Martian Manhunter. But Superman ends up getting like kind of bested, and he ends up leaving. More along the lines of like now that he has come in contact with all this, it's more like he needs a different battle plan. Because he thought he was just going to be battling like a version of Lex Luthor that he was more accustomed to. They do show that he is rescued after after leaving that fight by this version of Lois Lane, when she goes by like the Spider Lady, and this is called the Spider's Lair with these it's called the Spider's Hole, and then they're like the Spider Syndicate, but they all work for the Spider Lady who is Lois Lane, and she showed up in previous issues as well as in the Batman and Superman weird reality bending storyline. They do show that part of the Spider Syndicate is a son and a mother, and it turns out to be the wife and child of the Omni Battery, whoever's inside that Omni Battery. They never do, they reveal his name, but they never do reveal like who he is or whatever, but I think his name is Rudy Jones, so if you know who Rudy Jones is, let me know. And it could be, I don't remember what Martian Manhunter's real name was, like his human name was. They do show that basically they go back, and this time with the help of the Spider Syndicate, that Superman is able to, take out the minimal threats that were like Man-Bat, Poison Ivy, and the Two-Face, just like he did before. Then he goes up against the Omni Battery, and instead of fighting him, he starts talking to him, telling him he knows his name and his family and stuff like that, and of course it works. Him reconnecting with the person that he was before he was this Omni Battery thing, and basically they tag team up, and Superman and the Omni Battery beat the heck out of Superman, out of Lex Luthor. Superman, after tidying up everything and sending him to Blackgate Penitentiary, we see that Superman goes back to the Spider Lady, and he states that after their first meeting, that for some reason he really wanted to reconnect with this Lois Lane, and he tells her why, and it's because her Earth had died, and now that like Krypton had died, now they are very much similar, so he is like extra attracted to this version of Lois Lane. And he does show her and takes her to this hideout that him and Batman have created in between the realities, and they call it the Fortress of the Knights. And this is actually where the book ends, because when you get here you're supposed to read it this way, and it goes like, and you actually like turn the book around as you're reading. It's really badass, but it spits you back out at this story. So we got Batman's version, and Batman is heading to the world of tomorrow with Robin, switching places with Superman, and what he is chasing after is a version of Bruce Wayne that has somehow been turned into a mix of Two-Face and Bizarro. So he is super strong like Bizarro, and he has the multiplicity thing going on like Two-Face, and it is Bruce Wayne. We see that he is locked up, and eventually he escapes and breaks out using his backwards talk. Batman and Robin are quickly summoned to a gathering at a diner, which they meet for the first time. This version of Commissioner Gordon, Lois Lane, and because in this world there is no Batman and Robin. Batman states that in this he's not so happy with this world. Like, this Commissioner Gordon is very uptight. He is nervous. He is a mayor here. He is not a police commissioner. We also see that on this earth that Martha, Bruce Wayne's mother, did not die. Only Thomas did, and in this world she became a notorious criminal. Since the Bizarro Two-Face Bruce Wayne broke out of prison, that is where he is going, is to free his mother. So we have Batman here as his secret identity matches Malone in disguise, watching Martha Wayne. He's trying not to do the whole, like, it's my mom, I'm trying not to cry thing. And of course, because, I mean, who wouldn't after, having your mother die and then getting to have a conversation with her after that moment. But as that is going down, we see that Bizarro Bruce, shows up and basically just grabs Martha and flies off. Batman and Robin do a trying to stop him, but to no avail. I mean, it's basically like a Superman, Bruce Wayne. We also do see some funnier stuff that in this version, I mean, since there is no Batman and Robin, they have to buy their own motorcycle, and Batman for some reason lets Robin drive, and here for some reason the sidecars are extra small, like they were only fit to Robin's specs, and Batman is not happy. As Bizarro is leaving, for some reason Commissioner Gordon and the cops decide to shoot at Bizarro, not thinking about Martha. And Bizarro is bulletproof, but Martha is not, and even though she is a criminal, they don't want to kill her. Batman keeps trying to tell them, hey, don't shoot, and Bizarro gets really pissed off and eventually explodes all the cop cars that were trying to attack them, which allows Martha and Bizarro Wayne to get away. They do this whole detective thing where they are literally trying to track down Martha and Bizarro Wayne, and they basically go back to Wayne Manor. They end up running into Alfred Pennyworth, which in this version is a villain that works for Martha, and he kind of states to Batman that he wants Batman and Robin to rescue Martha and to bring him back to the mansion to Alfred. Alfred also realizes that this Batman is, Bruce Wayne, just another version of Bruce Wayne, and that's why he's asking and pleading for this to happen. At this time also, we do see that Batman has already figured out what to do with this version of Bizarro Wayne, and it has to do with the coin and the Two-Face identity. As this is going through, because this version of Bizarro Wayne does not have the coin, he has been extremely undecisive, where he can't decide anything because one side wants to do this, the other side doesn't, and without the coin they really can't decide on anything. Batman and Robin finally realize where they are going, and they are going to Crime Alley, where the unspeakable happened to in both worlds, this one and in Earth 1 with Batman regularly. But and of course, right on cue, Bizarro Wayne and Martha show up. Instead of fighting Bizarro Wayne or anything, he just basically gives them the coin and tells them to flip it and decide whether to kill Martha or to release her and allow her to go. Of course, it's staged by Batman. He ends up marking both coins and using like a hologram projector to make it look like it's not marked up. But basically, like, he ends up tricking Bizarro in that moment, to go ahead and kill Martha. Not to save her. Batman actually tricks him into killing Martha. But when this happens, since Two-Face is half Bizarro, Bizarro speaks in opposite speak, and he kind of messes himself up, and one side says to the other that he can't kill Martha now. As this is going on and the undecisiveness of Bizarro Wayne is going down, Robin sneaks down and puts the collar on. They kind of jump forward, and Batman and Robin are about to leave. They do go back to Wayne Manor to say goodbye to that version of Alfred, and as they do, Alfred is kind of pissed that Batman and Robin did not bring back, Martha to the mansion, and we find out that he has somehow, obtained this device and quickly turns into an Alfred version of Doomsday and starts attacking Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin, quickly assessing that this is not a Batman situation, and jumps through the fold of reality to right back to the middle of the comic where we were in this. And if you see on both of these crazy little treadmill things, it does conclude both stories, where as soon as Alfred Pennyworth comes through and is about to kill Batman and Robin, Superman blasts the heck out of him with an uppercut and saves the day. And also at the same time as Batman and Robin are coming through, they quickly end up solving Superman's mess. So I don't know, quite the little story, cool little, like, kind of trippy little ending. But that's that one. Last but not least, like I mentioned, this is an older book that somehow I passed over. I don't know how. I think it had to do with shipping issues, because I went back and looked on the list, and this was not on my list. I think it just came out at an odd time, and that's how I missed it. But this is Future State Gotham #3. I have already reviewed issue #4, but it was kind of a filler issue anyways. So main story, here we go. So we got Nightwing and Jason Todd as Robin, and they are investigating the massive explosion in the shape of a bat symbol in the middle of Gotham. It has been stated that this is the new Batman that did that, and they are not so sure that the new Batman did this, even though Bruce Wayne is the one that told him that the new Batman did this. We catch over to Red Hood, and which now is like Peacemaker Red, and the new Batman, and they are in Arkham, and they are battling the Arkham Knights, Clayface, and like, I forget who all's in there, but it's like Clayface, Killer Croc, but I think they are actually trying to save Arkham Knight, who is locked up at the moment. She's like a part of their group, but we catch up with them, with Batman and Red Hood, and they're basically not only in Arkham, dealing with the Arkham Knights, but it's like all of Batman's rogues gallery. And it's this back and forth with the new Batman and Jason, and the Red Hood, and he's basically like, man, I only work with the real Batman. Who the heck are you? Who allowed you to do this, kind of thing? And also about the interrogation about the bomb, and the new, Jace, the new Batman. He keeps stating that he did not do the bomb, that he has proof, that they just need to team up and get out of the situation, and he will reveal everything. Eventually, they do cut over to the scene where some guards are patrolling the halls, and they make it to this blacked out scene where they find a dead guard on the ground, and not just one, but like several dead guards on the ground. And as soon as they kind of flash their lights in a certain direction, they see that it's Punchline in the room with the dead guards. She talks to this one guard, and the one guard, asked her, "Hey, enough jokes, go get locked back up." And she's like, "Hey, buddy, I know we're friends, but please, if you don't, move out of the way, I'm going to have to kill you." He didn't take her seriously, and guess what? She slits his throat. she states the same thing to the other guards, and the other guards kind of back off, saying they don't get paid, that much, and then they let her leave. We jump back over to, Red Hood and the next Batman, and they are still trying to save the Arkham Knight, and through all the different villains and stuff, and even before they can grab her, this guy shows up, which I think he has already made a cameo in issue number 2, but this is Warmonger, and this would be his, I guess, first appearance. But he shows up and beats the heck out of Red Hood and the next Batman, and to the point where he basically states to the next Batman that Red Hood's a joke, and the next Batman is severely weakened because he's been battling all these other villains, and the Warmonger does not want to fight him in the state. So he basically kind of like KOs him real quick, and telling him that he should be grateful that he's even giving him the time to recuperate so he really can fight him. We see this other scene back with Nightwing and and I said Jason Todd in the beginning. This is Tim Drake, the other Robin. But they are catching up with these other Arkham guards, and they are trying to find out what's happened in Arkham, and then it cuts back away from them. Now that Warmonger has Red Hood and the next Batman captured, we see now that they are in like a prison cell, but it's like an open prison cell. And right off the bat, we see that that Jason Todd is waking up and instantly is hit in the neck with an arrow. The next Batman says that he got hit in the neck the same way with the arrow when he woke up, but it is not poison, and he has not figured out what it is. Warmonger shows up and basically says it's Mortal Kombat time, and says they're going to fight to the death whether they like it or not. Both of them, of course, being heroes, are like, I'm not going to fight, both. And sure enough, they just didn't know that what they got shot with is like a rage-inducing toxin, and so they basically start attacking each other, saying that they're going to kill the other. And that's kind of where that story leaves off. We cut off to a dark back room where someone is watching TV, and they have just revealed that Punchline has escaped, and we see that someone is not too happy about this escape. We see future state Harley Quinn, and we already see that in the next issue that Harley and Punchline and Hunter Panic are they are trying to capture Punchline and put her back in jail. We do know that she escapes and gets away, but hey, that's my review on a comic that I passed up, but that's my reviews. This is the last of the reviews that are out. I go pick up my new comics in exactly like an hour and a half, so be looking out for the Marvel and Indie comics that I picked up today. Alright guys, y'all have a great day. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see y'all soon. Happy New Comic Book Day.